politically, when I see the four of you, I wonder where that comes from, because it's so all four of you are slightly different.
Ooh.
Right? I mean,
not anymore.
were you
Not
guys
slightly.
was it ever fully the same? Were you ever the four of you on the same page?
Yes, Alec. Well, Stephen was never really as opinionated or I think interested in Stephen's religious affiliation got him interested in politics.
Got it.
But Alec was the head of the Creative Coalition. Billy was the head of the Creative Coalition. We definitely thumped hard, voted Democrat, registered as a Democrat for many years. Not until 2016 when they bought a guy, and I got to know people. Remember, if I'm going to play a NASA astronaut, if I'm doing Apollo 13, they're taking me to NASA. I'm training with astronauts. I mean, the amount of information. If I'm going to be a heart surgeon, I'm going to Hopkins with Jarvik, and I'm watching him put in a Jarvik 7 in someone's chest. You get that kind of access. So as I learned more and made these friendships with people, and I started looking at Trump, and I started looking at the Republican Party, would people criticize RFK for jumping ship? And I looked and I said, yeah, but you know what? For Jack Kennedy and for RFK Sr., if they saw what happened to the Democratic Party now, if they saw what they were about now compared to what they thought it was about then, it's a very, very different ballgame now. And I could no longer, in good conscience, back a horse that I didn't think was running to win. You know, I mean, I couldn't. And so, and I still believe that now. So, and I got in all kinds of trouble, and Stephen was with me, which is, I'm shocked that Stephen has said things on open social media. I'm no longer politically affiliated. I don't want, I'm not in politics. Well, that's a hell of a time. That reminds me of Tim Waltz saying right before you're about to get deployed, hey guys, good luck. Good luck to you. Take care. I mean, you're going to jump ship now? You're going to say, even though you're not going to back the other side, I back the other side. I came right out of it this time in 2020 and now hard. Where 18 months ago, the FBI, according to Joe Rogan and some other sources, blacklisted me. The FBI blacklisted me because I got on the show way before it was popular or anyone else had said it. And I said, do you really think that Joe Biden is going to run against Donald Trump? Do you think those people don't know he's going to get his ass kicked? He's never going to run against her. The only chance they have is if Michelle Obama runs. They need an African-American woman. Biden will get the nomination. They'll yank him for some ridiculous reason. He's sick. He's got an aneurysm, whatever it's going to be. And they'll put Michelle in. If Michelle runs, they have a possible chance because it puts Barack back in. He was popular enough still to win. They didn't. They didn't pick the right horse because she probably didn't want to walk away from $70 million and the money they're making now. So they backed Kamala, lowest approval rating in the history of vice presidency, and they lost. They lost. But I said that was going to happen. Just like I said, night after night, 3, 4, 5 nights out, this isn't close in Michigan. And when I say close, I mean that she's a threat to win. She's going to lose every single one of the battleground states, every one of them. Billy turns around and writes, Billy and I were going at it. Alec and I don't even talk. Billy and I were going at it over this. And he said to me, I guess pollsters around the world from Oxford, they know less than you do, Daniel. I said, Billy, follow the money. Just call up your guy in Vegas and ask him, what are the odds? You think these people that are betting hundreds of millions of dollars on this event, just like a boxing match, do they ever lose? Very rarely when they're betting that kind of money. And he was a 63% to 37%, some ridiculous odds in Vegas. Why? Because he was going to beat her. That's why. And they knew something we didn't know. And I knew it too. So I said, next thing you know, I'm on a list. I sent to Tony. YouTube pulled my show. I have a podcast. I've had a podcast for years. I was on ESPN. I was on Fox. I was on, and my podcast gets pulled down from YouTube. You have misinformation. You are using. I went. Hang on a second. You guys stream Fox. You stream CSNBC, and you stream CNN on YouTube. You can watch those channels. Any piece of information that was on my show, I pulled the quote down, I pulled the picture down with the article, or I pulled the video down from those 3 sources. So if you're streaming them, what misinformation? And I asked them, you can appeal this decision. I said, okay, I appeal. So I start going through the appeal progress. They went, we're not accepting your appeal. Why? Because I didn't fit into their forum of what they wanted to have.
What was it, on a specific issue with YouTube, or what was it? Was it on a specific video where you said something? Or
here's the interesting thing. Please give me any example. They said examples of where I misinformed my audience, where I didn't say, and I think, because I can give my opinion based on that article. Now, if you come out and you say someone's a pedophile, if you come out and you say, you better be able to back that up. There better be substantial information. I never did that. I said things like, this woman is totally unqualified because she doesn't hit any of the 3 characteristics that I find the most compelling to elect someone. Number 1, what is your plan? Number 2, how do you plan on executing your plan? And number 3, and the biggest one, where's the money coming from? Because if you're going to say, I believe we should have fresh air, I believe good drinking water, these are all great things. How are you going to clean up the water? How are you going to deliver it? How are you going to pay for it? Because there's 2 pots, the pot of the money that goes out and the pot of the money comes in. So if you're going to give the middle class a break, and you're going to let them save money on taxes, then you're depleting the pot that spends. So how are you replenishing that? Billionaires will pay more money. Madam Vice President, what if that doesn't pass the House? What if the Senate says no to that bill? Well, they have to say, no, they don't. No, they don't have to say. And by the way, while you continue to trick the American people into believing that billionaires aren't paying for your campaign, they are. It's just different billionaires. So you're going to make your friends pay more money in taxes to make up for the break you're giving to them. It's all bullshit, Patrick. It's a game that we play. It's almost like a Harry Houdini illusion that there's no accountability. Where Trump won me over was in 2 places. It had to do with a mindset. I'll never forget the day I looked and I went, man, that's brilliant. What are you going to do about the nuclear proliferation of North Korea? They now have intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach the coast of California. And Trump went, nothing. Well, yeah, they could bomb San Francisco. They could, nothing. I'm from Queens. If we had a problem with a guy up in the Bronx, I called my cousin that lived up in the Bronx. I called my friends that lived somewhere near there or someone I knew there that was a good friend of mine, an ally, and I said, hey, straighten this guy out. What's it going to look like if China parks 500,000 troops on the North Korean peninsula? What's that going to look like? Let China worry about it. They're thirsty for our money. They need our money. They're trading with us. They're like Japan now. They're so dependent on American dollars. Let them worry about it and straighten this guy out. And I went, amen. Why would we send our boys over there except for the industrial machine that is war right now, what has been since the beginning of time. But still, why would we send our guys there? I love that mentality of it. And I thought, this guy's so far outside the box. He's so far outside the box. He handles it like a business. He's not politically loyal to really anybody. And he was friends with everyone. It's so funny. They show those clips of The View of all those women who loved him and he was their friend and he was the best guy in the whole world. And now they hate his guts. They hate his guts. Why? Because he's not part of the machine.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me and he read the book. And afterwards is like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. When you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at this society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're gonna enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm going to put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey, and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.